not from a bad place. Like Michi knows if I'm like, and I was very Michi. We can talk about that one day with her. I think in like September, I was like, you need to leave. But I knew that like some other people were planning as well. And I was just like, Michi, you need to leave.
It creates some kind of false consensus, like a fake one, where it feels like everybody's opinion is the same. It feels like the public's opinion is going in a certain way, but that is not true. If people are angry now, they would be Niji Sanji's stan, so who cares what they think? They're not in her fan base. Backlash only matter if it's in your fan base. What is Twitch? Who knows? Oh yeah. So there's this new... So apparently, allegedly, I haven't actually looked at it yet. Kuro and Matara were spilling some tea yesterday on their stream. I think it was about 13... No, yesterday was 13 hours ago. So I guess a day and a half ago, they did a collab and they were saying some spicy stuff. I don't know if this whole clip is gonna cover like all the stuff that they were talking about, but apparently Matara told Michi to leave multiple times or like way in advance and compared it to being in an abusive relationship. Kuro said that he hated his fans, but let's just... The person who made the summary was like, just watch the clip, don't just trust me on the summary. So I think we should just, you know, do that instead of taking their word for it. All right, so let's listen to this. It's a long clip.
Like you kind of mentioned it. A lot of girls didn't really like you and like this community. But a lot of girls didn't like any girls that, you know, like talk.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're
including some other girl we know. But also...
What do they mean by that? Including some other girls we know?
It's just ironic because all these people were like, oh, Mata is trying to make moves on Kuro, or other girl is trying to make moves on Kuro. Meanwhile, all this time, like, I was in London with Safwan, which is like way more of a, like, I don't know if they knew that, like, I don't know if
they would have like,
they would have flipped because that's like outside of company, you know? And I'm like walking around with her all over the place, right?
And again, and at one point too, you're walking around with her, but you're like kind of like grabbing her by the shoulder because again, she had like she had a limp, so we were kind of helping her out.
Exactly.
But yeah, I really like. I went to therapy, and I'm pretty over a lot of.
Is that a unicorn thing or just female? No. They said she's talking about how she had a hard time in Niji Sanji, and people didn't like Nina when she was at the company for various very silly reason. And then they're saying like, oh, the girls just didn't like girls that talked a lot. She talked a lot. She's an extrovert. And at first it sounds like they're referring to like people in the fan base or people outside of the company. And then they say, oh no, well, they didn't say no, but they say, oh, it might be girls that we know. So what, like colleagues? What is it? What are they referring to? Who are they referring to?
Of that part of my life where I think it was such a new thing and people weren't sure what was happening. And I've made peace with that part of my life.
Yeah. I didn't even really think about it until I'm talking with like you know, like talking with someone who was in that time, because when we think about stories we have together, it ends up being that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So that's like the only times I really think about it.
You know, I was talking to Mint about this where we were talking about, I think on the pod we were talking about, would we do things different in our life? Would we change anything? And the thing is, right now, where I am currently in Bishoujo with you guys doing what I'm doing, I would be too scared. Like, even if I could avoid maybe a little bit more pain, maybe if I could avoid, like, I'm too scared to do that because I'm scared that it wouldn't have led me here right now where I am.
Yeah.
Because where I am right now, I am so happy and satisfied. And I feel that even this is...
Yeah, Nina Kozaka actually had a lot of trouble in Niji Sanji. The fan base went really feral on her. And like, if you just Nina Kozaka, like I just typed Nina Kozaka problematic, and there is so many videos on TikTok that have a lot of views. I'm aware of how problematic Nina is. Those who still like her, respectfully, what the fuck, the off collab was my last straw. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. She just rubbed people out the wrong way. There's like tweets. Apparently, Nina Kozaka is problematic. I kind of agree. Like, it's all stupid stuff. People went around to dig up her past and want to cancel Nina, not only for her past, but for her recent behavior with her friends. There were remarks that past life Nina that was said to be problematic about the hijab and was found to have agreed on the ban of hijab in France. Basically, it's a lot of the internet thinks that she's problematic, so they're gonna think so too, which is a lot of what Twitter is. To me, Nina Kozaka is someone who I'm uncomfortable of, and her past life actions are none of my concern as they're in the past, unless she's still actively doing these things and I've not learned. This person at least says that she doesn't deserve to be cancelled, but it's just like one of the discussions from back then. No, it's not a unicorn thing. It's just, she was very extroverted, and once she did a collab with another Niji Sanji member, a guy, where she says that she kept trying to, all right, they would do threads of her quote-unquote problematic stuff. They'll say, called Pomu's channel dead and said she would only apologize if people donated her hundreds of dollars. So basically, they're just taking a joke the wrong way. Made fun of Remu's dog being old and told Remu her dog is going to die after Remu talked about her dog being sick. Guilt-tripping Shu by not being able to make it to the first Niji Sanji off collab and implying that Shu can possibly have friends outside of Niji. One time, she did a collab with Alban, I believe, and then she started saying that like she wanted to get her gen together and she kept pushing for them to hang out in a call so they could get to know each other, and they always said no. But then she found out that they were hanging out together in calls because they were friends with each other, but they never invited her, and that really hurt her. And also because she opened up about that, it made it seem like she was being not petty, but she was like calling them out on somebody else's stream, and people got upset again. It's all really stupid. If you pay attention to how she talks, she makes sure to clarify when she's joking. She got that from her time in Niji, because Sister would always interpret her jokes in the most bad faith possible. Dude, that is so sad in a way. It's very sad. Didn't she mention she tried to communicate with her colleagues, but they all just ignored her? Yes, exactly. That's exactly the story I was telling you about. So she's gonna talk about, in this clip, about how she suffered then. It was mostly due to the audiences, though. Her audience was getting bullied, too. Oh, you're a Nina fan. You're awful. You're trash. So it felt like she felt like her audience, that she was putting them in harm's way, and they couldn't be vocal about liking her. It's sad.
This is where it's really, really hard. And I've talked about it too. I don't know if I'm just really positive or if I have so much PTSD that I'm good at dealing with it. Because like, I really feel like a lot of the pain and a lot of the hardship has led me to now look at my life differently. Like I am very slow to make friends. I'm very slow to opening up. Like I keep my circle, and I keep my circle tight. I'm good with them. But like before making a new friend, right? Like let's say you, me, and Mochi, right? We're close, but because of time zones, we don't get to talk as much as we do. Before I make a new friend, I'm thinking, have I spent time with Mochi and Kuro? Have I given to my friends that I already have? And I got this way because of like our previous stuff.
The previous stuff.
I think
now you guys know the context.
We kind of went through a lot of trauma. With that stuff. But when I joined VShojo, like initially I wasn't even planning to
I like the hedgehog in the back.
Like VTubing again for a while.
I remember.
I kind of just wanted to like chill, right? And then I got the offer for VShojo, and I was like, oh, I guess like I'll join because it's like once in a lifetime opportunity, right? When I joined, I changed so much, right? I changed so much of the things that people liked about me, right? I stopped completely NSFW anything. I didn't even have an NSFW tag.
Did he do NSFW before? That's Shadow Rima? What, is it not Sonic? He looks exactly like Sonic. ASMR, but is ASMR considered not safe for work? I suppose he made like more risque ASMR, like the the daddy ASMR Vox used to do. Shadow the Hedgehog? All right. I'm triggering chat.
I had like 20 different channel rules. I switched from YouTube to Twitch only. And
Yeah.
And then I took like already like 7 to 8 month-long breaks or half a month breaks, right? Because I really just wanted to kill my shit. And I think I mentioned it to you too, like already before. I just wanted to kill my shit because I was so done with like everything related to VTubing and stuff. But I was like, but I have this, but I don't know. I don't want to deal with these people anymore. And now, I was talking about this with my chat probably like 3 months ago, because this is when it started a change.
No, I didn't. I was just curious because he said not safe for work, but as far as I know, no one in Jisanji does like actual not safe for work. But I suppose he had a not safe for work art tag, and maybe they did like some boyfriend experience ASMR, and like they flirted with each other, but like I didn't know that was not safe for work. But again, I didn't really watch their content because I usually watch female streamers. I don't really watch a lot of guy streamers unless they're like really good at a video game or something. I prefer the female energy, you know? I like the cute Fuamoko Bao stuff. I like when they're cute and stuff. I like the moe. That's what I like about VTubers the most. Not safe for work tag, he also did BFE. Okay. Oh, he means the shipping, the flirting, the not safe for work Yao art stuff. He wasn't that comfortable with it seems. Okay. Rima's a unicorn. True.
My community is a lot smaller now because all these people have gone, which of course, like I said, I did that like intentionally, right? But
of course,
from this point onwards, it feels like everyone that's in my community is someone I really, really like. And
it's intense.
Good. Like, I haven't had community drama. Isn't that insane? Like, I had so much before. I have nothing.
Wait, that's crazy that he thinks that it's insane not to have drama in a community. You guys don't have drama in the community. That's boring. You guys should pick some fights here and there.
There's no community drama.
And okay, can we talk about the community drama? Sometimes the community, and like again, we love you guys and you're amazing. And we know that sometimes there's infighting and stuff like that. But sometimes in our past, there would be community drama that like we didn't start, we didn't know about. And then people are like, well, you need to do something about this. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm on vacation. I'm tired. What do you guys are fighting? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What? And again, I get it. It was dramatic. Everybody was on their stuff, but I completely get you on the community fighting where you're like,
Rima would kill us if we fought. True. I'd be like Kakashi when he appears behind like Sasuke and Naruto and he grabs both of their heads and bang them together and he looks really scary. I feel like their community is so big though that it must be really difficult to handle a feud that's going on Twitter. Like, yeah, you can moderate a Discord. That place needs to be moderated. But Twitter? What if the feud or the drama is happening in another platform? Then what the hell do you do? Change your tune from yesterday, huh?
And we're happy. Oh, I have this theory that it's a corporate thing. And I think it's because people kind of know that there's things that you can't really talk about.
Yeah, so they push it.
Like I've talked about it before where like I wish I would have been allowed to address, because like I wish I would have been allowed to address things. Let's just say theoretically there's something happening where people you and I collab. And I'm like, you're such a little freaking shitbag. This is why your mom doesn't love you. And people are like, whoa, Matara, you really hurt him
that
with the words
a lot with you, actually. I remember.
All the time.
Yeah.
People would be like, Matara, that was really hurtful. But then it doesn't stop there. People would like make these huge threads on everywhere. On Twitter, on my comment
hates everyone, and
my comments would be flooded with that.
Yeah.
And I talked about it where I was like, could I please just address it really casually?
Right.
Like, oh, hey, I had a collab with Kudo, by the way, remember that collab when I said that? You know I didn't mean it. And you'd be like, oh, girl, I know, we were joking. I called you old and stinky too, don't worry. But I wasn't allowed to address a lot of those things. And I feel if I were to be allowed, I think it would have helped a lot of that. But this is why I also think that infighting and stuff started.
Yeah,
is because
and I think that whole, like, I don't want to compare them because I feel like that's unfair. But Hololive does that where they do address things and be like, hey, don't do that. Or tell that audience there's nothing there. Like Kiara has done it, I think, recently. And I can't remember who else off the top of my head. And I do feel like it does help regulate some of the drama because then the fans, they become aware that this bothers the streamer. And then they'll self-regulate the other part of the fan base that is having a fit or whatever. They'll be like, yo, stop doing that. Crony does that. Yeah, and they're like, a lot of them are like, Crony has said that she doesn't like when you guys do that, so you should stop it. Picora did it with Marine with the Tetris Puyo Puyo tournament. Did audience try to start beef between them? In no way. What happened?
Because we weren't really able to. And the thing is, like, some people did address it, but I think it's because I fucked up. I would ask for permission and then get told no.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. She took the words right off my mouth, and I didn't pre-watch the video, I swear in chat. She should have just done it and then not ask, because if you ask, they're gonna say no.
And I think what a lot of people did is they asked
do it and say sorry
instead of asking for permission.
You would have to just do it and then reap the consequence after.
Yeah. That was my problem, is I would ask for permission.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a comment on how Marine was too good compared to everyone else. Really? Seriously? You get blamed for being too good at a game?
Oh, because then people know, and then you're gonna be told no anyway. You know?
Yeah.
I think in relation to that, something that I regret a lot was having to apologize for the wrong things. Like,
oh yeah.
There were so many times where like I'd apologize for something on Twitter.
Yeah.
That I
Twitter.
apparently said or did or whatever, and then people would be like, "What? Why are you apologizing for this? You shouldn't apologize." I'm like, yeah, I know.
I know.
I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So whatever. But oh well.
But genuinely, like and this is where like sometimes I wonder if it's like the Stockholm syndrome of like, because I'm out of it now, I look back and I'm like, haha, it made me. But I genuinely feel like
it definitely did. It's just one of those things, you know, like you have to go through certain things to grow as a person. Like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. And I'm just so like, okay, so my pal tells me this all the time, where he's like, you're a little jaded. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm a little jaded. I think so. I think jaded is the right way to talk about how I am now. I'm a little jaded. I'm a little slower to trust. I'm a little, it takes me a little longer to warm up to people.
Yeah.
But hey, we're here now. We're alive.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think it definitely made me who I am today. And I feel a lot more chilled out.
Oh, yeah.
I was so stressed like 24/7. So
right?
now I'm chill.
I'm good stressed now. Like, for example, I was telling my audience, like, I'm preparing for my 1 year, which you just had. And I'm like, I cried in the bath because I was like a little stressed with my to-do list. But then I was like, wait, I'm choosing to do these things. I want to do these things. These are things that I want to do. This is exciting. I just am kind of bad at managing my time, and I put a lot of stuff on my to-do list. But that's because I'm a dumbass, not anything else, you know? That you feel a little bit more security. Because this is something that Vshoujo has allowed me to feel. Vshoujo, I feel, has given me a safety net.
Yeah,
where
for sure.
I can take, I can take a little bit of time off, and I know that coming back, I'll have a community, I'll have a stream, staff will come up to me and be like, hey girl, you want to do merch? Let's help you out, right? And I just feel so good to know that, like, I'm good, I'm taken care of, I can take time off, I can do what I want.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I love your model. Your mama cooked. I was actually looking at it yesterday. You look so ikemen. It looks really good.
It's nice to be a pirate. I like being a pirate.
Like the good old days.
That's like, actually, when we first ever met, I think was like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Holy, that was
It really suits you. It really, really suits you. It's like, I feel this is the most you I've seen you. Then again,
They always talk about it like they were in prison or something. It genuinely sounds horrible.
I feel like
it sounds
Kudo,
horrible.
like the first Kudo is also very you, but this like, you know, also when you first debuted, you were also saying that you were like,
She
I'm
also
taking it
says
easy,
debuted.
You know, so it was like the
Yeah.
little emo, like I'm taking it easy. But
you
I'm
guys
not
kept making fun of me for saying debuted. She also says it.
The emo
good.
arc being
She's
taken
also
easy.
ESL.
But now you're like,
Whatever.
you're a little tan, you're happy, you're glowing, you know, it's like you're in it. I feel the good vibes, you know? You know what's so funny? I wrote on my vision board that I wanted to hit 100K on YouTube that year, which was crazy because I wrote this, I
A
think, in like
vision board? What's a vision board?
January or February, and I had 0 on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then when I got accepted, my YouTube was like at 25K, I think, which was crazy because I went from like 5K into like 10K next month into like 15K. I was growing so fast
Yeah.
and my videos were hitting momentum. And I genuinely think
A vision board is something you put your dreams on to keep you motivated to make your dreams a reality. 100K subscribers, a video at least every 2 weeks, world domination, being a CEO of an agent of Hololive, being a shogun, being a supervillain. I'd have some supervillain pictures here and there, different ones.
if I hadn't left, like
Female
because I
Yago.
left, I ended up hitting that 100K later that
Buying
year.
Marine.
I think in November. But if I hadn't left, I think I would have still hit it. But I'm happy with my decision. And even with all the pain I went through, I am very proud that that was something in my life because it taught me about NDAs. First of all, it taught me about keeping my, I'm sorry, I'm going to swear. It taught me about keeping my mouth shut. It taught me a lot of stuff that I think I wouldn't have been able to learn otherwise. And I'm very, very grateful. Genuinely. Like I genuinely, I think
That's Matara has a mentality where I think it's a very productive mentality where she feels like everything that's happened so far in her life, even the stuff that has made her suffer and stuff that has caused her pain, has made her into the person that she is today. And everything for her has been a valuable lesson. I'm like that too. I see things the exact same way.
much.
You know,
And sorry, I mean, I met you, I met Mochi, I met Mint.
yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah, that's value
I
maxing.
met people that I'm still very close with.
Speaking of NDAs and Mochi,
Let's break a few.
so she was telling me, like, I'm actually curious about you now, but she was telling me that when she left her previous job, she didn't even
I
like,
remember
sign anything.
seeing that.
Yeah.
I
You did?
She said that she didn't even have an NDA. Honestly, if somebody tried to make me sign an NDA, now with what I know, I do everything not to sign one. If it's a business deal or anything, I don't want to be under any kind of NDA.
Okay. So she just fucking... Okay.
Yeah, because they sent it to her and they made a mistake. So she sent it back. They were supposed to send it back to her and then they forgot. So she's just like, okay, I didn't sign it. But she's kind of a very... She's a very straight arrow. So she wouldn't leak stuff that... Well, she says that she wouldn't leak anything that would be damaging anyway. You know, she's a trustable person.
Oh.
You know what? They still owe me like $400 because
Wait,
it's
what?
probably a little more because I send back my phone
Oh.
and they never paid me back for that.
Yeah,
Oh, for like shipping?
that was in the summary.
All right.
Okay, you know,
So apparently they owe her $400 for that phone.
when I left,
I
was
don't know.
like-
She's a yapper. True, she did have that big clip where she said a lot of stuff about the YouTube play buttons, which was very interesting indeed. But it's not like leaking financial numbers and stuff like that. That's the most important stuff, the most delicate stuff, I'd say.
They sent me a message. They were like, "Hey, would it be okay if we?" The way they would do this, they'd like, "Is it okay if we restock this merchandise?" And I was like, "Actually, thank you for asking. I would prefer that you didn't. I would really just want to, like, leave and let everybody lie down and forget." They're like, "Oh, no, we weren't asking. We're just letting you know that we're restocking this merchandise." And I was like, "Okay, then why'd you say, is it okay? Why did you say, is it okay?" But they did restock a lot of merchandise right before I left, and I'm supposed to receive a percentage of that. I don't think I'm ever receiving. I don't think I'm ever gonna receive.
Yeah, so they also, on top of the $400, they also owed her some merch because they restocked it right as she left, and they never also sent her that 1% commission. So yep, I guess she didn't demand it, even though it was in her contract, probably because she just like, I just don't care anymore. I just want to be out of there, and you guys can keep the money.
That percentage. I don't think I'm.
Right.
I never received it.
I mean,
and it's one of those things where it's like they definitely got merch again.
Right.
Before, when I was leaving to sell it.
There's even stuff with me, like there's like plushies and stuff that are still in like those crane games and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a lot of animate stuff that's still around. I saw when I went to Japan. But it is what it is.
Oh my god, when I was in animate, I was like, oh, there's me and there's Patty. I was like, oh.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even give a shit. Like, I'm like, whatever.
Although, I think the way some of this stuff works with a lot of places is the way they do it is like they pay you out, like, because Animate will order a certain amount of
right, and they want to sell the stock, right?
But you technically should get paid as they order the product,
right?
Technically, that's how it should be. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of that stuff. Which again, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah,
it's worth
whatever.
it. You know, one thing I had asked. I had asked if I could pay to get myself re-rigged.
Oh.
And it wasn't something I was allowed.
Oh yeah, have you guys ever noticed how bad the Life 2D rigging for Niji Sanji is? Like, it feels like the artists are rushed or something, but they barely move. They're like not bouncy at all. There's so much better rigs on the indie VTuber side. They're very stiff. And her model could basically just, do the, like this, that smile.
But I was like, please, can I pay to get a re-rigging? Please, I beg you.
It was very iconic.
I know. Stiff.
You had a very
stiff
big mouth. Like when you go, it was nice.
All I did, everybody needs to understand, all I could do was just like happy, the D, semicolon D. That's all I could do.
Yeah. Colon D was your like thing.
That was it. That was just it, colon D. I remember when I told a parent that I was gonna leave and I had nowhere to go. Like, Vshoujo had not come knocking on my door. I was telling my parent that I was leaving, like, quote unquote, assured success to potentially stream Factorio to, maybe like 300 people if I'm lucky. Yeah. And they were like, you know what? Good. You were not happy. You seemed so distraught. And the way, okay, this is very Eastern European, but the way my mother said it, she's like, you look less beautiful when you're there. And beauty is not everything, but what she meant by that was like, it drained your beauty. It drained your good energy, your everything. And it was crazy to me because, immigrant families, it's like, oh, if you make money, just stay. Suck it up. Like, do this do this to put your family ahead of everybody. Nah. The fact when my mom was like, I'm happy you're leaving. This is good. Like, this is good for you to leave. Which was crazy because I was leaving it till like nothing was assured. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely the right choice. And now
God, I'm still I'm telling you, like, I don't know if you could hear the smile on my face where I'm just like, fuck. I can't believe how good things ended up being and how happy I am.
Yeah, it's perfect. Everything is aligning in our lives, I think.
I think so too. I want to say that Michi's a natural, but it kind of takes away from all the hard work that she does behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But she makes it look like she's a natural.
Yeah.
I feel like Michi, when you first see her, you're like, wow, she's so good at it. But then like I was telling her I'm doing a subathon and she gave me like a million prompts and she researched a million things while she was doing her own stuff. I didn't even ask her.
What
She's
kind
just
of
like,
prompt?
oh, by the way,
I need
Matara,
Michi's
here's
help
all
for
of
my
this stuff
events.
you can do. Here's how this can help. Here's how I was like, girl, what the
Damn.
hell?
Michi honestly seems like a fun person to be around. She doesn't seem like the kind of person that judges other people, and that's the worst kind of people, at least to me. I have a very laissez-faire philosophy. Let the others live their life the way they want.
She's probably
My
the
coffee's
hardest
here.
worker I
Be right
know.
back.
What do you think?
I mean, she didn't even stream. Like, she wasn't even a streamer. She didn't want to be a content creator. She was doing fashion design. You know, she even was in like university for
colorblind.
it. Yeah. And
My girl.
She even did like a lot of projects with that.
Oh my God, I know. I've seen some of the stuff.
Yeah. But then she just decided to try it out. And like now she's Michi Mochivi and she's doing really well. So, you know, it is what it is.
I feel like if this girl puts her mind to anything, she makes it happen. Like she makes it happen through like hard work and dedication. Really.
Yeah.
Like she proves to me that everything is hard work in life. Everything. Meeting her made me realize like I can work a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I can work a little more. I can try a little more. I can do a little harder. You know?
Oh, it was like really hard to make her understand like her worth. I feel like even now she's kind of doubtful of it. But like for the longest time, like when I got into VShoujo, like I didn't tell her to like try get in VShoujo or anything. I was telling her that she should just fucking do something, like do something away from what she was currently doing, because I was saying like you have so much potential and you don't realize how much potential you have, and it makes me annoyed. So just do something, you know?
This is where you and I are a little different. Me, the moment I was like, I'm getting out, I didn't, you know, again, it was way before VShoujo, everything. I was like, I'm getting out. I was like, I'll tell you what it's like on the other side when I'm out. And then I got out, and then VShoujo happened. And then I was like, girl, I am telling you, give me like a little bit of time to get myself situated. And then you're leaving. Promise me you're going to leave. And I kept being like, I was actually being kind of a pushy, like, again, I try not to be a pushy friend because I know that everybody has their boundaries. But with Michi, I know that if I am pushy, she knows that it's from a place of love and not.
I feel like that means that Michi probably back then also kind of had some issues with Niji Sanji.
Not from a bad place. Like Michi knows if I'm like, and I was very, Michi, we can talk about that one day with her. I think in like September, I was like, you need to leave. October, I was like, you need to leave, by the way.
Yeah.
November, I was like, by the way, you need to leave. Because also like, I didn't want to reveal other people's stuff, but I knew that like some other people were planning as well. And I was just like, Michi, you need to leave. I promise you, I will not let you fail. Like,
yeah,
I promise you, I will collab with you. I promise you, we will do stuff every day. I promise you, like, you're gonna love Twitch. But I was on her ass, and I even I was like, me and him are not gonna let you die.
Exactly.
But I think like I was being so okay. I'm so dramatic when I talk with Michi. I was like, Kuro and I won't let you die, but I think you're gonna die if you stay there. I think it's gonna kill you, your creativity. You're gonna be a shell of a woman.
I mean, yeah. The thing is, it's like I was just thinking the whole time, like, you're not gonna grow there. That's what it's just honest. Like, you're not.
She reached 100k subscriber basically all on her own. Bethany remembers. Oh my god, you just gave me a flashback of her saying that. True. She collapsed so much. She knew she wasn't gonna be able. She knew that if she just stuck to what the others did, in her brand she was gonna get the resources to grow. So she did everything possible to get there by herself. And she did very well. So there's like a point where you're like, well, I've invested so much there. Even if I leave, I lose all that. What is it called? Like a sunken cost fallacy or something? I'm sure that's what's making them hesitate so much.
You're never going to be
You're not
rewarded for
going
your
to.
efforts.
You're
one of the
bottleneck.
most-
She's like the definition of bottlenecking.
She was.
Actually, though, like for real. It's like if you just leave, get a new audience, you will pop off. And then look what happened.
Yeah.
He's good now.
Oh my God. And I remember I was even like, look, Kuro and I, we're doing pretty good. If we're getting out and we're like seeing this stuff, I was like, it's not going to improve for you. You're still, I was like, look at the facts. It's been how many years? Like, this is an abusive relationship. And I was so traumatized. And again, just so we're clear, I would never do this with a casual friend or somebody like, I would never, for example, like say this to somebody like Mel, because I know that Mel would actually take this so personal and like take it very like more negatively. But Michi, I know this bitch can handle it. But I was like, every week I'd be like, so when are you getting out? And then I think she talked about it, so I can kind of like say it. She was getting ghosted a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if she openly flaunts that she recommended to Niji members to leave, then I think I can see why some fans could be angry. Well, she never flaunted about that as she was Nina Kozaka. And if people are angry now, they would be Niji Sanji stan, so who cares what they think? They're not in her fan base. Backlash only matter if it's in your fan base.
Okay, she talked about it. She was getting ghosted a little bit by management. And I was like, call them
I'm
up.
not muted
I was
still.
like, call them. Tell them. I'm like, they're trying to delay it. They're trying to like make you miss like, I was like, no, call them. No. You want to leave. Let them know. Like, go to a lawyer, draft up a letter. I was so on her ass. I was like, I squeezed that girl out of there.
Well, that's good.
I was really on her ass about it because I know how this was not gonna bring her joy, and she knew it. But I think she was also like very afraid to take the jump.
Oh yeah, she was definitely afraid. You know, even oh god, the amount of times I've like had to psych her up is insane about it. Because you know, if you're a Michi viewer here, be very positive to her. You know, she likes seeing the positive. I feel like it's really hard to get into her brain that people like her sometimes. So even though it seems so obvious because you guys are so nice, so just be extra nice.
Be so nice to her.
Yeah.
You know, there is something that's a little bit of a. If you look at her letter that she posted when she was.
Side note, I think it's crazy that this is mostly Kuro because Matara doesn't do that. It's crazy that they're talking all this shit on their former company on stream in front of thousands of people. And Kuro gets upset when other people talk about it. He can talk about it, but not other people.
Was leaving.
Man,
I think you can
don't
find
get
the
it.
types that I type because I have a very easy tell when I type. I put 2 dots instead of 3 dots when I type very quickly.
Right.
Because while that morning of we were in call and she was crying and I was like, it's okay, girl. Like, let's open up a document together. You talk to me, I talk to you, and we're gonna like kind of like, you know, do this. Cause she'd be like, I want to say this. I'm like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So if you read that letter, there's a few spaces that she never ended up like changing where it's like 2 dots. And I wrote those.
Oh my
Because that's
God.
my tell that I write. I write 2 dots quite often. And I was with her and she was crying.
Did they get permission from Michi when they talked about her situation in this much detail? Yeah. Did they get her consent?
And I was crying and I was like helping her write it. Because, you know, at some point she was crying and she couldn't write. And I was like, it's okay. What do you want to say? I'm like, I'll type it out for you, you know?
Yeah.
But if you find that and you're able to see, there's a few spots where she definitely has like 2 dots in a few places.
Oh my God.
I wrote that. I was collabing the other day and Strippin, who's like, I don't know if you know him. He's been a YouTuber for like, he was like, He literally said, "Oh, I know a lot about Matara. She was a fuck."
Oh, stripping. I talked about stripping. You guys know how I know this streamer? Because I talked about him in my video on Bunny Ayu and Admiral Baru. Yeah. He was one of the person that Admiral Baru really like mistreated. And that's made him extremely closed off. Poor guy. Very, very large Pokemon content creator. Stripping, yeah. I talked about stripping, that's what I heard. No, that's not what I meant. I did not strip. I did not strip.
I was in another life. And I was like, what? I don't know.
Because it's like another world to them. They don't.
Yeah, and I was like, bro.
Yeah. They don't know the taboos and stuff. That's funny.
I've had so many of these like long-term YouTubers message me, be like, "Oh, I actually had a video pop up about you," and I'm like, "Uh-oh," and they're like, "I had no idea," and like having other people find out about that and tell me and be like, and then I was like, "Oh no," and they're like, "No, you don't understand." They're like, "I found a document." I was like, "Oh my god!" They're like, I read through it all. That's insane. I can't believe people took that. I was like, I know. But the difference is you're like 40 reading this.
Yeah.
The people reading this were 15.
Yeah.
Like I was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Like Satan was better than I was
You know
to
what
these.
I think I noticed as well. Now, like, okay, I can say this because I am Asian. Asian fans, crazy. I'm sorry. Not all Asian fans, but somehow Asian fans. I don't know how to tell you this, but bro, they don't. Here's the thing. Here's what happened. You would say something that is obviously a joke to a Western audience, right? They wouldn't understand it as sarcasm or a joke. They would take it literally, and then
I feel like he's very much referencing when Vox made a Yo Mama joke, and the Asian fans got so upset. They got so upset.
fucking fight you about it, even though they don't understand that it's a joke. And that happens so many fucking times to so many fucking people. Like, I can't. Like, relax.
And the worst part is I wasn't allowed to just be like, "Hey guys, I think you're severely misreading this. This is not." There was a time when one of our coworkers, they sang a song like 30 different times, and they like barked it, and they like they just put on voices for the song, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love you so much, but this was really cursed." And the comments were like, "Wow, first you bully the kohais, which is like your younger, like the people who came to the company after you. Then you bully your senpais. You are so vile. You are the worst person. How dare you?" Because it was like, I guess they used translator, and I was like, "Haha, babe, I love you. That was so funny, but that's so cursed." And then the other comments were like, "Well, I don't like her, and I'm not defending her for her actions because she's bad. But by the way, I think you're misreading." If people who were defending me were like, "By the way, I don't like her, but I think you're wrong." What is going on? Why am I doing this? Anything I ever did, it was just like people being ready to jump on my throat.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you though, it feels so weird, Kuro, because while it was happening, like only really my close friends knew that I talked about it, right?
Right.
Because I talked about it a little bit to other people. They're like, "Oh, really? That sucks. Sorry." But now people that I'm meeting who are finding this out are like, "Oh my God, that's really bad. How are you?" And it's so crazy to get this energy from like new friends. And I wasn't getting that energy.
That's the normal energy somebody should have, dude. They were such in a cursed environment. I feel awful
like
for
people
them.
that I thought I was much closer with.
For sure.
They're like,
for
"Oh,
sure.
what's happening? Sorry. That sucks. Hee. Anyway, you want to collab?"
Yeah,
I was
but
like, shit, okay.
bro, she was also around very young people. Imagine you join a company. Imagine I join a company, all right? Me, the least moe person you've ever met. The least positive. I'm joking. And it's all, I gotta collab every single day with like 18 years old or like below 20 years old people. I wouldn't last very long. I wouldn't last very long at all. There's another part that was interesting. Oh, I found it.
It is so weird how I would say you are way more popular now than you were back then, but people would treat you so differently anyway. Like, it's so insane. It's so weird. Like, they would treat all of us differently, but fucking hell. Those people are crazy, and I fucking hate them. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I'm glad you don't watch me anymore.
He said that he hated his old fans. He said, fuck you, I hate you. Damn. They're probably the crazy parasocial, like, controlling type. Like, you're in an abusive relationship with them.
Like, go f yourself, weirdo. Actual freaks.
Where the way I saw it was like, if people hated me without a reason, those same people are also going to love me without a reason. The reason is, it's cool to love me now. Just like it was cool to hate me back then. Growing up in a bad household, I've learned, like, I've gone to therapy. I've learned when I have problems with people, I talk to them, I solve them. And then being in that environment with the fans and everything, if suddenly everybody doesn't like me, clearly I'm the problem, right? I'd be crazy to be...
No, the thing is, online, you're not insensitized. No, that's not a word. Insensitized to speak up. Let's say there is a thread or a Reddit post or even a V post, any kind of thread that's like, this person is trash, I hate them, and there's a bunch of people saying the same thing. Well, you're just gonna walk in there and be like the odd man out and be like, well, actually, I think they're pretty cool because of XYZ. No, that's too much effort for everybody. Like, yeah, maybe some people that don't give a shit about anything else, they'll take the time to do it. They'll take the time to show timestamp and stuff. Most people won't. They'll either agree, and if they disagree, they won't say anything, and they're just gonna move on with their day. Or maybe share it to their friend and say they disagree in private. But there's no point in, like, standing up publicly for what you believe in an environment where it looks like the consensus, the general consensus is about you. And because a lot of people, well, they don't speak up because they feel like they're outnumbered, and that's too much effort for no reasons. And I don't blame them. It is too much effort. Well, it creates some kind of false consensus, like a fake one, where it feels like everybody's opinion's the same. It feels like the public's opinion is going in a certain way, but that is not true. We looked yesterday at, like, the percentage of people that are on Twitter. That percentage is probably even lower on Reddit, probably even lower on VT. So it's like 20% of the population that create, like, most of the tweets. It's not a representation of what's out there. It's not a representation of the general population. It's not even a representation of the general internet. You can see, I think there was like a hate thread on Mujin the other day, and the amounts of likes that was in that thread was even less than the amount of likes that he had on his video. It was like 2% of it. So there you go. But if you're in that thread, you're like, oh my God, everybody seems to have the same opinion. No, it's really not a false consensus, guy. Watch out for that.
Such a grown adult at my big age to see everybody hating me and be like, no, they're the problem. Clearly, I'm good. So I'm really grateful because it made me rethink everything about myself. The thing, Bokudo, I am now being praised for the same stuff
shit
that I was getting shat on before.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, bro, it's so cringe. It's like,
I am being praised for the exact same.
People were mad at him when he did a vlog. Yeah, because what I read online, I don't agree with this. I don't give a shit about it. But he had this very, like, British, like, white fanboy looking avatar. And then when he broke immersion, he didn't look like that at all. He's a, kind of Latino, I think. I don't remember what nationality he is. And he was just vibing, and all the unicorns, there's female unicorns too. And they hated that they broke immersion. But what he did, he's Filipino, okay. What he did doing that is that he segmented off all of that parasocial fan base in like one swift move. I think it was actually a good plan. That's a very easy way to get rid of all the freaks. Oh, he's Filipino. Oh, so he's like Nuzaki.
That I was being shat on before.
That's why I swear the VTubing sphere is so two-faced. People just follow the crowd or whatever's popular at the time. They'll praise someone who's a bad person, or they'll berate someone who is a good person. Just depending on what the public sees them as, and it's so cringe.
Do you guys think that the same people that hated Matara would love her now? I feel like they're two different kind of people, but she seems to think they're the same.